guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be setting up my next Projo together because it is going to be April, which means it's time for quarter two. So what I thought I would do is kind of give you guys a quick flip through, since I've been doing sort of the monthly flip through, but just sort of give you a flip through of what the whole thing looks at the end of quarter one. Now, so you guys know I'm filming this on March 20th, so I do still have a week and a half left in March that I will still be using in this current P-book. However, I want to make sure that I get everything ready because I'll be traveling in April and I want to just make sure I'm ready to go. So first up, let's take a look in my current Projo. So you guys know I keep my little stencil in here. I've got my quick start guide, and I actually have, oh goodness, my sticky note transferred stickies. I don't like that. Okay, sorry, getting distracted. So I do have my little code for the new way I've been crossing off my little boxes that I actually learned from Claire, who is the creator of the Projo, but I do it like automatically now, so I feel like I don't need this anymore. So we're going to get rid of that. So inside here, you'll see I have my index. So I basically just sort of split out the main section. So I've got this first section with vision board, goals, roadmap, and projects timeline. And then I jump down, I've got January, the pages for the monthly, and then for all the weeklies, February, etc. And so that way I have everything sort of at a glance. I like grouping it by month so I can quickly flip to wherever it is, and you'll notice that I have plenty of room. I actually haven't really used the note pages in the back of the Projo, so it's probably where I would have used more index space. I just haven't needed them. So let's take a peek. So you'll see here I've been working on crossing some stuff off on my vision board. Basically moving is all done. I just have to upgrade my internet. Fiber still isn't available in my building, so I physically can't do that quite yet. You'll see I've got a couple that are 1/through, so they're not quite done. I've got a couple that are fully done. Now, one of the things that I haven't quite decided is how I want to deal with moving, or if I want to deal with moving my 2019 full year goal vision board, or if I just want to go ahead and set up quarter two. I haven't really decided, but I will be referring to this as I set up quarter two, so I will probably just decide in the moment. So you can see that I do have some stuff from quarter one that didn't actually get done. I've made pretty good headway. So some of this stuff is gonna get migrated, and then I've got some new things that I wanna work on in quarter two. Then we've got the goals roadmap. This is one that I honestly am not sure if I'm going to set up for you guys, just because I haven't decided which things are going to be my priorities yet. So we'll see how that goes. But you can see here I have a couple of these admin things are the main things that I haven't gotten done, and I just need to suck it up and do it, basically, is kind of what it comes down to. The project's timeline, again, this is probably the page that I have the hardest time with. The goals roadmap I'm actually okay with. It's just that I have to sit down and sort of break things down, and I just haven't done that quite yet. But this one I really have a hard time. I have a hard time using this one. I'd like to learn how to at some point, but I feel like it's more important for me to get what my goals are on paper and start figuring out what I want to do in April, rather than wasting a bunch of time trying to figure this out for right now. So maybe someday. Then we have January. So you guys have seen this in previous videos. So I'm just gonna kind of flip through so you guys can see. Things went pretty well in February, all things considered. There we go. I sort of adapted how I was doing my monthly review. I'm still a little iffy on this, but I feel like it works for me. It might not make sense to anybody else, but at least I kind of know where I am in the projects, and that's really what it comes down to, isn't it? So then we're up to March, so you guys can see here it's the 20th, so I still have about a week and a half left. We'll see how much of this stuff I get done. I will probably set up April for you guys, show you, but I haven't yet decided on projects, and a lot of it is going to depend on what I get done between now and the end of the month. So some of it I'm not going to be able to set up, essentially. And then I have my monthly reflection, which I will do at the end of the month. And take a quick flip through. So we've got our weeklies. So these, I've been using the weeklies pretty regularly. You guys know that I've started using Google Calendar to help me with time blocking. So the first probably month and a half, I was not using Google Calendar, and so I was penciling in and erasing a lot more, whereas now it looks like little hairs. Every time I open this, I think these are like little hairs. It's literally just like very fine pen marks. Anyway, so I have gotten to the point that it needs to be erased, where I fill in, aside from the appointment stuff that I do in brown pen, I fill in anything else sort of after the fact. And that, I think I probably started around week 6 or 7, give or take. I've got a couple pencil marks in there still. And that's just been going a lot better. It saves me from having to erase as much. It's really easy for me to move things around on Google Calendar. Like, it just has been working better. I do like having this record in here so that if I want to go back and see the kinds of things that I was working on and how I used my time, I can. But I do also have the record in my Google Calendar. So that's just notes on that. And here we are at this week. So I will have one more full week in here. So I've actually already set up the bare bones of all of my like scheduling stuff. But as you can see, I haven't set up any of this yet because I have to sort of see how this week goes. What I actually can do is, where's my pen? So I actually already filmed my April plan with me. You guys will, by the time this comes out, you will have already seen that. And I'm currently filming my quarter 2 plan with me, so that will get to be filled in later, which is excellent. So that is basically everything in here. Like I said, I haven't used any of these extra pages, and I have not yet done my quarterly reflection. I want to wait until like officially the end of the month. And what I'll probably do is show you guys in my May plan with me. Once I'm like officially done, I can show you the flip through for April. I'll show you guys sort of how that all sort of wrapped up. But I will say, I feel like this has been really helping me get stuff done, so I'm excited to set up quarter 2. Now, the other thing I have in here is my end book, and this is one that I was a little bit on the fence how I wanted to deal with it, and I wasn't really sure how much of this I was going to use, but I have been using it more and more, which is kind of great. So I have the start of my index. I think I have a couple pages left that I haven't yet indexed, but I kind of go back and do that periodically just because it's not like this is 200 pages long. It's easy enough to flip through, and then I just index it a little bit later so that if I'm looking back, you know, in a year from now, it's easier to find. So I have my 2020 possible goals. I've got stuff for font making. You guys have seen a lot of this stuff. Here's some KonMari stuff that honestly, like, I don't know if and when I'm going to get to it. I've done KonMari before. Most of the way, it's really just the papers that I have to finish, but I kind of had this idea that I wanted to do it again in my new apartment because now everything is mine. So if I decide I want to get rid of something, I actually can. Whereas when I was in my old apartment, I actually did do KonMari and I was able to, you know, get rid of a fair amount of stuff. However, it was a furnished apartment, and so there were certain things that I was like, I don't want this. This doesn't spark joy, but it's also not mine. I can't throw it away. So that was kind of why I wanted to do this second KonMari. But again, it's not at this point, because I have already done it. It's not really a priority. It's not like things are chaotic. It was just this idea that I wanted to go through and do it like 100% start to finish. But again, like, we have other things to do with our time sometimes, so this may or may not actually get done. We'll see. Random health notes. I've got some ideas for like social media stuff, wish list, possible projects, holiday ideas, because I tend to lose track of time and forget to book stuff, which, yeah, working on that. I have this. It was my first pass at my morning routine, and then I also have sort of the updated version. It's still not 100% like this just because work has changed again. At some point I might do a video about this, we'll see. Because I moved, I have this whole list of places I need to update my address. We're still working on it. I haven't made headway, but the good thing is I actually did forward my mail. Then I have my March pre-planning. I have some ideas for that marble mantle, like old fireplace that's in my bedroom, which actually most of it's done. It's really just this mirror that I want to get, which I haven't found one I really like, so that is what it is. Then I actually bookmarked this because this is my pre-planning spread for my quarter 2 ideas, so April through June. I basically took all of my big goals, so I have my 5 main goals, 4 main goals, because I've actually finished moving. So my 4 main goals, plus I have work stuff and summer stuff, because we're kind of getting into where I need to start thinking about that. And I made a note here that I'm going to transfer my end book. So my goal is actually to keep this notebook because it's not full yet. So let me finish giving you a little flip through. So I have this spread that was for goals and projects. So like things that I'd like to maybe do, but like not this year or not right yet. As you can see, it's currently empty because things have just been a little busy, but you know, it's nice to have it. Ideas for fonts I want to start working on soon. This is pre-planning for my teacher Projo for next year. You guys will see that at some point in the near future, near-ish future. My April plan with me stuff. And then you can see here, I have page 23 is my next blank page. And this notebook goes up through page like 60, 59, no, 61. It goes up through page 61. So I've got 40 pages left. It seems like it would be a massive waste to, even though I have a new complete set, like both P-book and N-book in this Projo Plus pack that I got, it seems like such a waste when I still have 2/3 of this book left. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna just transfer this to the new one and just keep going because, you know, I can always use the N book. If I have a collection of N books, I can use them for something. They're A5 size, they're dot grid, it's a blank notebook, like I'll use them for something. There's no reason I shouldn't fill up this one basically. So with that being said, let's open up this again. You can see after I did my unboxing video for you guys, I basically packaged everything back up because I just wasn't ready to deal with it at that point. So let's see. So we are going to move a bunch of this stuff to the side because I am still in my current Projo, so I can't move everything yet. I will be using my archiving sleeve, but obviously I have to wait until I actually finish March in here. So let's move some stuff over and attempt to get this sleeve off. Oh my gosh, it's like a very, ow, I think I gave myself a paper cut. That's cool. There we go. Okay, so we have the new Projo. So I honestly, for right now, I'm going to leave everything as is, but once I finish out March in here, I think what I'm actually gonna do is take the N book out of here, put it in this new one because obviously this plastic sleeve is in better condition because it's brand new. And I will maybe save this N book in the black envelope that the Projo Plus came in or something like that. But for right now, I'm just gonna kind of leave things as they are so that I don't accidentally misplace something. So you'll see this is the same as always. What I thought I would do was go ahead and time lapse you guys and start setting up some stuff and then sort of show you how I have started based on what I've learned from quarter one, show you how I've decided to start setting up quarter two. I will come back at the end and we'll have a chat. So this is definitely the kind of planner that I fill out as I go along. So you'll see I've set up some stuff, but maybe not as much as you might expect. So I actually am going to hold off and do my index a little bit later, even though it's going to be fairly static because there aren't a ton of pages in here. It's not really urgent for me to set up the index, and that's like, I feel like that's not a super interesting thing for you guys to see in the time lapse, given that it's going to be pretty much identical to the one that I had in my last one over here. So just did my name and my email in case it gets lost. Whoops. Then what I decided to do is I've left this left page blank because what I think I might do is once I officially finish up in here and I see what I've actually done or not, I might do an updated year-long, like an updated 2019 mind map, but take out the things that I've already done. But I kind of want to hold off and see what else I have to add in here. So what I thought I would do is just go ahead and show you guys what I've actually done for quarter 2. Okay, so you'll see just up at the top here, it's April through July 2019, so nothing super important up there. So what I've got is quarter 2 in the center here, and then going from the top and going around clockwise, I've got font, Korea, JP2, which is work, summer, save 7000, and YouTube. And I've kind of left some space, so here and here, in case I have things I want to add, because these are sort of my main goals, and I did honestly take pretty much everything just from, so I basically took everything from this quarter 2 pre-planning spread that I did. I've adapted a couple of things, but basically everything's from here. However, there are always little things, you know, there might be some things from quarter 1 that I didn't get done that I want to add, so I left a little bit of space just in case, but this is going to be the majority of the things that I plan to do in quarter 2. So going in with my font, I didn't get as far with the font as I had kind of hoped to in quarter 1. Then other things, I was actually thinking I might start prepping letters for a few different fonts, just kind of while they're in my head, and just save them, you know, have a folder somewhere that I'm going to save those in. We'll see. And then the other thing I want to start working on is doing a portfolio. This might get extended over here. I have some other ideas for that, but I don't know that it's actually going to be stuff that I'm going to get through in quarter 2, which is why I'm trying to really keep this on here. So there might be certain things that I add, but that are going to go to the year level. So we'll see. Then I have Korea. I have to decide if I'm actually going in 2019. So this is one of my big goals for the year. However, because moving ended up happening so quickly, I want to make sure that I'm in a good place financially to actually do this huge trip and not rush it. So if I decide that I'm going to go, then my goal for the next 3 months is to book my flight and my hotel while they're still hopefully a little bit cheaper. Next up is for work. I want to set up my Prof Bujo, and I want to work on sorting, scanning, and chucking papers because I am really going to try, because of the digitizing I've done this year, it worked really well. I want to start working on that because the amount of papers you accumulate year to year as a teacher is insane, and I'm on my 2nd year and I do not want it to get out of hand, so I want to start working on that sooner rather than later. Then for the summer, I am planning to go to the US to visit family, so I have to work on planning that, which is why there's not any information. It's literally just like I always go the same place, like it's not a big deal. I also want to work on my summer schedule. So I want to work on time blocking during the summer so that I really work on language studies, work on YouTube stuff and font. So that's got to get sorted. Then for saving 7,000 euros, that's my goal for 2019. That means that roughly each quarter I need to save about 2,000. I'm actually like doing really well. I've had a couple of things go pretty well, so that's actually like pretty on track. I also want to look into investing with my bank. Then for YouTube, I'd like to do a premiere and I'd like to do a live stream during the next 3 months. So those are kind of my main goals. Like I said, I've left some space here in case I have some other things that come up. I also think I might update my 2019 plan because it's nice. I feel like it's nice to see at a glance. Sometimes things happen a little bit out of order based on what you think is going to happen, and I want to be able to have that, you know, at a glance because I am planning on actually archiving my first P-book, which means it's not going to be like super easily accessible. Like I'm in here every single day. I'd rather have it in here up to date so that I can just glance at it when I need to. Then I have not filled in the goals roadmap or the project's timeline. Then I have started setting up in April. So I set up my line over here. I've penciled in the videos that I want to post during the month. I've also blocked off I'm on holiday for this section of time, and I will be in Seattle for this section of time. So I've kind of blocked those off because that's going to drastically change what kinds of things I do during this section of time. Also only 30 days, so I've crossed off the 31st. And then the only other thing that I've set up in here is my first weekly. So you'll notice here that I actually have started doing what week it is in school. So my school does week A and week B. So I have what week it is in school and then what the calendar year week is. So I have both of those at a glance because it honestly changes. I have hours that I have on week B, for example, that I don't have on week A that change how my setup looks. So that just kind of reminds me like, oh yeah, this is how it's going to go this week. This is also going to be the last week that I have my crazy schedule at work. This is going to be the last week that I actually have these 2 sections of time at work. So I'm excited to get back to my normal morning routine after that. I do usually set up a couple of weeks in advance. However, since I still have the last week in March and I've already got it set up, I figured just doing one quick little week in here, just show you guys, is going to be sufficient. And then I will work on doing these. But honestly, the next 2 weeks in April, I'm on holiday. So they're going to look very different from my normal week. So they're not as interesting to set up because I don't actually have like appointments for the most part. I mean, I will be traveling, but for the most part, I don't have appointments. It's just gonna be larger chunks of open time that I fill in as I can. So yeah, I definitely will come back and show you guys the kind of really like truly final wrap up of quarter 1. But because I am trying to film stuff so that I actually have videos to post while I'm on holiday, I needed to do this one a little bit earlier. So hopefully this kind of gives you an idea. You guys could maybe see a little bit, but I'll go ahead and show you. So in order to set up my quarter 2, I didn't actually refer to this as much because I had already done a little bit of pre-planning in here. So if you were to actually go through everything, basically, I think everything, actually the only thing I didn't actually write on the new one is to work on my grocery budget because honestly, I need to just kind of give up the idea that that's going to get better for a little while. I like spending money on food. That's one of the few things that I really do kind of splurge on because I do cook so much. So that was like the only thing that was on that pre-planning that didn't come here. I also did remember kind of at the last second that I wanted to check on my quarter 1 goals. So you'll see here that I had a couple things or my quarter 2 goals. I had a couple things in my quarter 2 goals that are not necessarily things that were in my Projo, but these were other projects that I had that I went through and said, okay, when am I realistically going to have time to do them this year? And I put them in based on that. So I basically only have planned my October holidays. So once I decide if I'm going to Korea or not, that is going to either book those holidays or I'm gonna have to figure out something else. And then I need to work on learning Photoshop, which actually this one I don't think I'm necessarily gonna do because with the font making process, it's not like super necessary. Anyway, long story short. And then I need to book my flight for the summer, which that is on my list of things to do for quarter 2 anyway. So these things are actually all there. These ones are going to get taken care of. A couple of these things are going to get dealt with. A couple of things might get migrated, but at least until I finish out March, I'm gonna hold off on migrating these. But I did use this to kind of take a look for quarter 2. So those were the 2 places in other notebooks that I looked for the quarter 2 ideas. But honestly, it was a lot easier because I had a brainstorm a couple weeks ago where I was already starting to think about what I wanted to do in quarter 2. And honestly, because I had already set up my 2019 goals, it's really just a continuation. You know, where did I leave off in quarter 1? So what am I going to be doing? And these were the things that I was like, I know I'm not going to get to this in quarter 1. Honestly, what have we got left here? So I need to set up my LLC. That one I still haven't done. This for YouTube, I actually did do, so the one premiere, I obviously have not gotten to doing that. I did do the backlog actually, that I've been really good about that. I definitely want to keep up with that so that we can cross off because I'm good to go on that one. So that's really the one thing. I am working on learning Illustrator using Skillshare classes. I still need to do this stuff for health related stuff. I still need to do this, but like the majority of things I've actually done. So it was really easy to say, okay, I've done most of this, what's the next thing on the list? So this setup has been really, really helpful, and it made it a lot easier to just, rather than saying, oh, well, what am I gonna do? I know what I have to do next. I just have to like actually do it. So Yeah, I hope this was helpful at all. I don't know if it was. This is my first time doing sort of a year level goal planning this way. So I don't know if seeing a sort of recap and plan with me is useful or interesting for you guys. Let me know. I had kind of this idea that I would do it once a quarter just to kind of show you guys how I went through doing my goals. If you guys have any ideas or if you have any like specific things you'd like me to show you, let me know, just because I am honestly winging this. I'm flying by the seat of my pants trying to figure out what's going to make the most sense, what I can, like how I should show it to you guys. So if you guys have any ideas for me to make these sort of quarterly review videos better, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great quarter too. If you guys are working on your own goals in that sort of a setup, or any of your goals in general that you're working on for 2019, and I will see you guys in my next video. Hey guys, so if you've made it all the way to the end of this video and are actually watching my end screen and you're not subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would. There's a little button right there for you to do it. And if you're interested in watching some more of my videos, I have links to 2 of my older videos off to the left there, so you can check those out if you would like to, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!